Hey y'all, Moses here. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. I wanted to make this video to go over a couple of thoughts that I've had over the last couple of days. And I know that for some of you who were on the stream yesterday, hopefully it wasn't your first or last time viewing the stream, but it was a rough day. It was a rough day, got me thinking, you know, sometimes you slump and you let it get to your head and you go crazy and you want to make a video that night ranting and raving about how the game is broken and such and such and such and such. But in reality, I just had a bad day. But you know what? I think that there was some discussion on the stream that I think required further exploration. So that's what we're here to do. We're going to talk about some of my qualms about the game in its current state and the competitive future of the game, which is important to me as a competitive player. Well, at least a part-time competitive player. I'm by no means a professional. And after the last couple of days, I don't think I'm even that competitive. But either way, let's talk about first-person perspective. Now, this is a topic that has received a lot of attention recently in the wider PUBG community. And I think it requires, at least for me, a little bit more talking. So let's talk about it. So first person perspective is coming in the next monthly patch. We know that much. I made a video about it not too long ago. It is going to be implemented into the next monthly update, along with some other updates. Specifically, the FOV slider is going to be implemented as well, which is basically a requirement because the field of view is very narrow in first person perspective currently, and that's just a required change with that game mode. Now, we have no other visibility to the upcoming changes. I've heard some rumblings, some dev talk. I haven't seen patch notes, so before I start assuming things, we're just gonna go with what we know, and that is first person is coming. So right now, the game as it stands is kind of divided. We have the first person champions who are, you know, like I said, a little cultish, and you know, the third person people who say the game is fine as it is, leave it alone. First person is, you know, it's not that it doesn't belong in the game, but it's good that it's an option. It shouldn't be forced upon people, which is fine. Whatever your camp is, I understand your viewpoints because I've kind of mulled both sides. So the first issue with the current game as it stands is overall fairness and the level playing field. Now, third person perspective is something that I've gotten used to using so much that I didn't really see some of the abuses that I was even perpetrating up until recently, and I think that's something that really goes a long way to speak to how the game needs to evolve to become competitive, to become viable in a competitive nature. We have untold millions of players flocking to this game, and a competitive scene is the next logical step to see the game grow into something more. Now, the one thing that a competitive game requires is a level playing field. Now, the game itself has elements of RNG baked in. It's part of the game mode. The circle RNG, loot RNG, all those things are limiting factors from a competitive standpoint. Now, looking at that in comparison to the third person perspective, RNG is frustrating, but you know, in the context of the game, it is an acceptable kind of variable. It sucks, but it's acceptable in my opinion. Third person perspective, however, lends something that is not unfair and is manipulated in a way that, depending on the situation, could eliminate all competitive level playing field aspects entirely. Now, the primary argument is definitely the vision it provides, the ability to peek around corners, around trees without putting yourself in any danger. So if you're at the last tree in the last circle and there's a guy prone in the field, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is sit behind cover and wait for him to move and then pop out, line up your shot beforehand. You put yourself in no danger, unless you're up against a superstar. But you know, likelihood of that is fairly low. So it's the vision that it grants you is the primary issue. Okay, so I think that argument has been put out there a lot, and that's fine. So I guess how does that affect the competitive future of the game? Well, you know, you can't have two of the best players in the world. It doesn't matter if they're the best players or the worst players. If you have the advantage with third person peeking, it's not fair. It's just not fair. And I've come across that and used that myself. And you know, recognizing in the course of the game where you can position yourself so you can't be peeked third person is an important skill to learn, and I talked through some of that in the stream. Is to say you have to be aware of the visibility. Your position might be good, but you know someone could be peeking you over the ridge or you know around a tree or around a corner, and sometimes it's just out of your control, and that's not a fun feeling. So anyway, let's kind of move on to my next point, and that is the pace of the game and general performance in first person versus third person. You know, I'm interested to know when first person is implemented if all the timers will stay the same. I think that'll really add to the intensity if everything is left as is, for players to still be constrained by the circle and the current timings and just the other variables of the game. I think that's important to leave untouched because it will really you know, take the top or take the edge off of the initial shock of changing to first person perspective, just to kind of have all the other variables stay the same. There is when it comes to the division in the community, I think that there is space in the game for both modes. I don't think that they need to be divided. People have said that ranked play should only be for first-person perspective. I don't think that's true. I think that you should have the choice to select your mode, and they should have individual ranks potentially. But I think that I don't want to see the community get divided over something as simple as perspective this early on in the development of the game, even though it's wildly popular. There are some necessary changes that I hope get implemented sooner rather than later when they put first-person perspective into the game. The one thing that I'm thinking would be a real big issue is the general navigation in a cityscape or in a city location rather, because as it stands, jumping over a 4-foot-high wall or over a busted wall is difficult enough in third person, and I'm really worried about trying to navigate without any of the vaulting or climbing changes in first person perspective in a place like Pachinki, where jumping across fences and through broken walls and even through windows is difficult as it is with the current navigation system. So with later circles in a city location, it would be very frustrating to try and navigate in first person only with the current movement mechanics. So I think the movement mechanics need some polish, and I think that vaulting and climbing needs to come as soon as possible. Maybe we'll get real lucky and that system might show up this month, as well as the first person perspective. I think that those two changes together would make for an absolutely fresh and brand new experience in the game, and that would be awesome to get to play. So I think the vaulting mechanic and the first person perspective definitely go hand in hand. I think the game would handle entirely differently, so that's really exciting. So yeah, I'm kind of interested to hear your guys' thoughts on all this. I know that there's a pretty big divide between the third person and first person community. Try and keep it civil. You know, if you have a comment, go ahead and leave it down below. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on where you think the competitive future of PUBG is kind of heading, and what you think it would be the necessary changes to include with the first person perspective, and maybe other changes to the game mode that that you might think is beneficial. I don't want to go, and I want to make this clear, I'm not a huge fan of the realism path. I think there are plenty of games out there that have, you know, plenty of realistic qualities. Arma comes to mind, Daisy, that kind of stuff. There are games out there that scratch that itch, so I'm really kind of looking for changes, at least for me, to the game that stick to the heart, the culture of the game as it stands, the current design philosophy. I don't want to go crazy with realism or anything like that. So either way, leave your comment down below. That's all I really wanted to talk about. I'll leave you with the gameplay. And I want to see where you guys take the discussion. So if you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe for more content like this in the future. Of course, you can check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/wtfmoses. Enjoy the gameplay. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. And until next time, I'll see you out there. Knocked out. Knocked out. More.
Nice.
He's coming to his buddy. He's moving down the hill. I got eyes on him. They're gonna res. Can you get left a little bit without getting shot?
I'm not sure where I'm getting shot at from.
I have no idea where that's coming from. I have no eyes.
No worries. So they're likely it sounds 120 from me, so that's probably like 105, 110 from you. Okay. We do have two guys, 150 from my position at the tree by themselves, peeking me. I'm hit once. It looks like they don't have a sniper rifle. Miss again.
Hit one with the M24, 120.
Okay.
120 is crouched behind that hill.
I'm waiting for the peak here. We're gonna have to move soon.
Yeah.
And so are they. I'm waiting for the peak. They're smoking themselves. They're probably gonna run left, away from the tree.
Smoke us. Because we're gonna have to move forward, maybe to that. I'm throwing smoke.
Yeah. They're not pushing me necessarily, but they are still at the tree as far as I can tell.
I think I need to push this.
Hit once. Knocked out.
I'm moving left.
Okay, I'm moving now. I'm not in the smoke yet. I'm with you.
Clear the tree.
Yeah.
150. He's hit once with a M24.
Okay, I'm gonna keep moving. Get to the shack. Get to the shack here.
Yeah.
Shack's not in. Two players out. Neither have helmets. Oh shit. They're yeah, we're gonna get pushed on both sides. Hold on, I'm sorry I blocked you. Dead. Or not instant dead. Two guys pushing on our right as well.
Okay.
I don't know where this guy's buddy is.
On the left, on the other side of the hill.
Okay. This tree's not in. Okay, there's guys gonna be on top of us here. Just be careful. They're at the tree right in front of me.
Nice.
Did you? One more left, right?
Left.
Nice.
Nice job. Good.